What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into something that's been on my mind lately. The evolution of versatility in Grand Theft Auto protagonists. We're talking about how these characters went from being one-trick ponies to literal Renaissance men of crime. And honestly, the transformation is pretty wild when you think about it. Let's start at the very beginning with our boy Claude Speed from the original Grand Theft Auto. Now don't get me wrong, Claude was absolutely menacing for his time. But let's be real here. Dude had zero versatility. Like, legitimately zero. This man was basically a walking, talking deletion button for anyone who got in his way. And that's about where his skill set ended. Think about it. Claude couldn't talk, couldn't express himself, couldn't really do much besides point and shoot. He was the definition of a silent protagonist, but not in that mysterious, cool way that some games pull off. More like your friend who only knows how to play one character in Street Fighter and just mashes the same combo over and over. Sure, it works, but it gets old fast. The man was dangerous, absolutely. Put a gun in Claude's hands and he'd clear out entire city blocks without breaking a sweat. But versatile? Nah, not even close. He couldn't hack computers, couldn't smooth talk his way out of situations, couldn't drive anything more complex than a basic car without it feeling like you're controlling a brick with wheels. You couldn't send Claude undercover because he'd probably just start shooting everyone the moment he walked through the door. Need someone to negotiate a deal? Claude's bringing a rocket launcher to a business meeting. Want someone to blend in with high society? This dude's about as subtle as a neon sign in a library. He was built for one thing and one thing only, causing absolute chaos in the most direct way possible. But then Rockstar said, hold up, what if we actually gave our protagonist some personality and skills? Enter Tommy Vercetti from Vice City. And oh boy, what a glow-up this was. Tommy didn't just fix the versatility problem. He absolutely demolished it and rebuilt it from the ground up. This man was the complete package, the Swiss Army knife of criminal masterminds. Tommy could do literally everything, and I mean everything. Need someone to handle street-level operations? Tommy's out there personally collecting debts and handling turf wars like it's just another Tuesday. Need someone to run high-level business meetings with the biggest players in Vice City? Tommy's putting on a suit and talking numbers with real estate moguls and cartel bosses like he went to Harvard Business School. The man's resume is honestly insane when you think about it. Tommy runs nightclubs, manages construction companies, operates taxi services, handles film production, runs a printing press, manages car dealerships, and probably does his own taxes on the side. He's not just a criminal. He's literally a one-man economic empire. You could drop this dude in any industry, and he'd probably have it figured out within a week. Tommy builds genuine connections too, which is something Claude could never do because, you know, the whole not talking thing. Tommy's got Lance as his right-hand man. He's got lawyers on speed dial. He's networking with everyone from bikers to Cuban gangsters to corrupt cops. The guy understands that in the criminal world, relationships are everything, and he cultivates them like he's tending a garden. This versatility shows up in every single mission. One minute you're doing a drive-by shooting, the next you're attending a fancy party to scope out a heist target, then you're racing motorcycles, then you're flying helicopters, then you're managing a rock concert. Tommy doesn't just survive in Vice City, he thrives because he can literally do anything the situation demands. But if we're talking about the absolute peak of protagonist versatility, we need to talk about Carl C.J. Johnson from San Andreas. And honestly, this isn't even close. CJ is hands down the most versatile protagonist in the entire GTA franchise, and it's not even up for debate. This man took everything Tommy could do and said, "That's cute, watch this." CJ is literally built different, and I mean that in every possible way. First off, dude can transform his entire physical appearance. Want to be skinny and agile? CJ's got you. Need to be an absolute unit who can tank damage? CJ can bulk up like he's prepping for the world's strongest man competition. Want something in between? CJ can fine-tune his body like he's adjusting sliders in a character creator. No other GTA protagonist can literally reshape themselves to fit the situation. The skill system in San Andreas was absolutely revolutionary, and CJ mastered everything. We're talking about a guy who can go from terrible at driving to professional stunt driver level just through practice. Same with flying planes, riding bikes, using weapons. even his stamina and muscle mass. CJ doesn't just learn new skills, he completely masters them to the point where he's operating at superhuman levels. This man can street race, pilot commercial airliners, operate trains, perform complex heists, run casinos, manage territories, handle gang warfare, work as a pimp, drive ambulances, fight fires, arrest criminals as a vigilante, deliver pizzas, and probably change your oil while he's at it. CJ doesn't just do different jobs, he becomes the best person at every single job he touches. CJ's got that perfect balance of street smarts and book smarts. He can handle complex heist planning that would make Ocean's 11 jealous, but he's also got that raw street credibility that lets him navigate the most dangerous neighborhoods. He's academic enough to learn how to fly military jets, but street enough to earn respect from the hardest gangsters. That combination is literally unmatched in the series. Now, after CJ set the bar impossibly high, you'd think the next protagonist would be a step down, right? Wrong. Niko Bellic from GTA 4 came through and proved that you can match Tommy's level of versatility with a completely different approach. Niko's operating on that same A-tier level, but he's doing it through pure adaptability and that European finesse that hits different. Dude's literally a war veteran from Eastern Europe who's seen every type of chaos imaginable. This isn't some sheltered American criminal learning the ropes. Niko walked into Liberty City already knowing how to handle any situation because he's been through actual warfare. That experience translates into this incredible ability to stay cool under pressure and adapt to literally anything the city throws at him. The business side of Niko is seriously underrated. He's working with everyone from small-time drug dealers to major organized crime families to corrupt government officials. Niko doesn't just take orders, he's constantly networking, building relationships, and positioning himself strategically. He understands that in Liberty City, information is power, and he's always collecting intel and making connections that pay off later. English isn't even his first language, but he's navigating complex criminal enterprises, understanding American slang and customs, and building trust with people from completely different backgrounds. That takes serious social intelligence and adaptability. Most people struggle to fit in when they move to a new neighborhood, but Niko's thriving in an entirely different country's criminal underworld. Niko's combat versatility is next level too. This isn't just some guy who learned to shoot. He's got military training, hand-to-hand combat skills, and tactical thinking from actual war experience. When things get violent, Niko's not panicking or improvising. He's drawing from years of real combat experience and applying it to street-level conflicts. That background gives him an edge that most criminals simply don't have. Michael DeSanta brings us into interesting territory because he's definitely versatile, just not in the explosive, master-of-everything way we've been seeing. Think of Michael as your highly specialized consultant rather than your jack-of-all-trades. His versatility exists within very specific parameters, and honestly, that's both his strength and his limitation. Michael's whole thing revolves around being this meticulous planner and smooth operator. The bank heists he orchestrates are genuinely works of art. Every detail planned out, contingencies considered, team dynamics managed perfectly. His approach to crime is almost corporate in how professional and systematic it gets. You won't catch Michael winging it or improvising his way through situations like some street-level thug. The suburban dad angle adds layers to his character that other protagonists simply don't have. Michael juggles family therapy sessions, dealing with his kids' problems, managing his marriage, and somehow making it all look normal while planning elaborate criminal schemes. His connections span legitimate and illegitimate worlds in ways that create unique opportunities. Michael knows movie producers, therapists, government contacts, and criminal masterminds. He moves through Los Santos high society without anyone questioning his presence because he's mastered that whole, respectable family man persona. Meanwhile, he's got criminal contacts who trust him with multi-million-dollar operations. Michael's limitations become obvious, though. Strip away the planning time and resources, throw him into spontaneous street-level situations, and he starts looking pretty average. He's not physically imposing, he's not particularly charismatic with strangers, and he definitely can't handle the grinding day-to-day criminal work that guys like CJ or Tommy excel at. Michael needs his comfort zone of preparation and familiar environments to really shine. His skill set works best within specific frameworks. Put Michael in charge of a complex heist with weeks to plan? Absolutely lethal. Ask him to take over gang territory through direct confrontation? He'd probably call his therapist first. The man operates more like a criminal CEO than a versatile street operator, which creates both opportunities and blind spots in how he handles different situations. Trevor Phillips is probably the most misunderstood protagonist when it comes to versatility, and I'm gonna die on this hill. People constantly overrate Trevor's versatility because they confuse being incredibly skilled at violence with being versatile at everything else. Don't get me wrong, Trevor is absolutely terrifying and extremely competent. But that competence exists in a pretty narrow lane, making him more of a B-tier versatile character despite what his fans might argue. Here's the thing about Trevor that people miss. He's basically a one-man army when it comes to chaos and destruction. But that's almost exactly where his versatility ends. Trevor can fly planes like he was born in a cockpit, handle any weapon you put in his hands, and single-handedly take on entire organizations without breaking a sweat. Those are legitimate skills, incredible skills even, but they're all variations of the same core theme: controlled violence and mayhem. The problem becomes obvious when you try to imagine Trevor in situations that require anything beyond intimidation or destruction. Business negotiations? Trevor would probably threaten to eat someone's liver before the appetizers arrived. Undercover work? This man stands out like a neon sign at a funeral. There's no blending in, no subtle approach, no reading the room. Social situations that require finesse? Trevor's idea of smooth talking involves graphic descriptions of what he'll do to your internal organs. The geographical limitation is huge too. Trevor thrives in the middle of nowhere where his particular brand of crazy fits the environment. Drop him in downtown Los Santos, trying to network with high society criminals, and he'd stick out immediately. His whole persona works in the desert wasteland setting, but it becomes a massive liability in more sophisticated criminal environments. People confuse Trevor's fearlessness and raw talent with true versatility. Yeah, he'll attempt anything without hesitation. Flying stolen military aircraft, taking on entire government agencies, jumping into situations that would make Navy SEALs think twice. But attempting everything and being versatile at everything are completely different things. Franklin Clinton represents something different in the GTA Protagonist lineup. He's the most reliable character in the entire franchise, but reliability and versatility aren't the same thing. Franklin is that friend everyone wants on their team because you know he'll get the job done without any drama. But his toolkit for handling different situations is surprisingly limited compared to other protagonists we've covered. Franklin's whole identity revolves around being the steady, competent professional. He's got incredible driving skills, solid combat abilities, and enough street sense to navigate Los Santos without making stupid mistakes. When Michael and Trevor are losing their minds over personal drama, Franklin stays focused on the actual work. That consistency makes him invaluable as a partner, but it doesn't translate into the kind of broad versatility we see with characters like CJ or Tommy. Franklin can handle repo work because it's straightforward. Find car, take car, deliver car. Simple, direct, plays to his driving strengths. But when he tries expanding into other areas, he needs guidance from Lester or Michael or other people who understand those worlds better. Franklin isn't naturally building criminal empires or developing complex schemes on his own. His social range stays pretty narrow too. Franklin connects well with other street-level operators and can hold his own in casual criminal circles. Put him in a room with high-level crime bosses or corrupt government officials though, and he's clearly out of his element. He doesn't have that chameleon quality that lets other protagonists blend into different social environments and manipulate various types of people. Franklin's approach to problems tends to be pretty straightforward. Either drive really well to solve it, shoot accurately to solve it, or find someone smarter to tell him how to solve it. That practical mindset serves him well and keeps him alive, but it's not the creative problem-solving flexibility you see with more versatile characters. Franklin succeeds by being excellent at specific things rather than being adaptable across many different situations. Which GTA protagonist you personally find the most versatile? Make sure to subscribe too for more GTA banger content. Let me know in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.